Hello everyone, it's Child Velocity here again, and happy 12th anniversary to Five Nights at Freddy's. It really has been such a long time since that game really came out. Huh, really good times here and there. Like, there's a lot of good memories when it comes to FNAF, even though it does have a whole lot of ups and downs. But I did find a bunch of videos here and there, so this video might be separate in two parts, hence the title of the video. Mainly because I got a lot of videos, and there are some events that I have to get going in a few hours, I think. I can't remember if it was at 4 or 5 or not, but just in case, I did pick out a few videos. And immediately, there's a blitz. Horror, horror, horror. Yeah. But yeah, I did find a few videos here and there, and one of them, ironically enough, is the 10th anniversary for Five Nights at Freddy's the Musical by Random Encounters, so I definitely gotta check that out. So let's see, we'll do that video now actually, especially considering the fact that apparently, and this is gonna be a sad moment here as well, Random Encounters is gonna retire in a year. I hate it. You know how I hate with retirements and all that stuff. But still, they did say that they'll randomly encounter again one day, so hopefully they do come back one day. But for now, let's check out the recent video they made for the 4th anniversary of this. FNAF the Musical, with Markiplier and Nate Wants to Battle and all the good old stuff. Okay, everything's set up. Funny, I was about to try and play Friday Night Funkin' versus FNAF. Another retirement flashback? Yeah. But for now, let's get to it. Just to double check. Yep, it's still good. Alright, let's get going.
Before he directed Iron Lung, before he entered American politics, before he caught up on Steven Universe, before he lost all his hair,
I've still got a little.
they all starred in
FNAF the Musical.
FNAF the Musical.
FNAF the Musical.
FNAF the Musical.
The Five Nights at Freddy's Musical.
FNAF the Musical.
FNAF the Musical, did you just say?
FNAF the Musical.
So how does somebody celebrate 10 years?
With merch.
Already done. Our FNAF items are back on sale. Plus, we've restocked all of our FNAF the Musical trading cards. And we're developing new items with fresh artists, which we'll be rolling out over the next year.
More music?
Definitely. For the first time ever, FNAF the Musical soundtrack is getting a physical release on both CD and vinyl.
New songs?
I'm kind of retiring.
Aw, come on.
We've got a FNAF the Musical remix album with new and extended verses.
That'll work.
I assume they're going to want some guest stars back.
As many as you can get.
Well, I'm talking with them now, but no promises. We'll see.
Any making of materials?
I've been going back through the footage archives, and I think there's enough for a featurette.
How about a sequel?
Hard no.
Well, I gotta say, that sounds like a pretty exciting year ahead.
Well, you know how it is with random encounters. We love our little surprises.
Is that a Pirate Sounds scented candle?
Yeah, and it smells like a pirate fox in a linen closet.
Ooh, nice. Don't touch my butt. Don't touch me.
Thank you for enjoying FNAF the Musical for 10 years, and please keep an eye out for more festive treats and exciting announcements. Also, if you're near San Diego, California this summer, you can meet us in person at Sonic Boost, August 15th through 16th. The link to register is down below. We'll see you guys here online, and maybe in person as well. AJ, beard salute! Ooh!
Nice. Well, that's right, they did do a Sonic musical as well. Like, they remixed the Sonic musical. This time it's an animated one as well, right here. So I definitely gotta check that out. I'll probably save that for at the end of the video, but I'm not sure. But now let's check out this one. There we go. This is called Miller's Fantasy Time to Work. I actually checked out this game already. I think I forgot to finish it because it was late at night, but I could be wrong. But I just know that one of our friends on VR chat, I forgot what their name was, furry artists. I can't remember, but they're actually one of the voices of the characters in this game. So I saw a snippet, and this time it's gonna be 3D instead of 2D. Like if you see a little bit of Doggo's footage down there, it's all 2D. So now it's 3D. Sonic Boost, I forgot about that. Yeah, wish I could go, but I don't have the money, so. I don't know. Let's just check out this set. And there's that character. Sort of giving me a drug creation vibes, actually. Oh, and just in case for anyone that is watching right now, flashing light and seizures, warning, and jump scares. Because, warnings. Oh, hello. Alright, that's pretty cool. Real Studios. I thought it was Real Time Studios. Like the man that made the Real Time at Freddy's game. Alright, next up will be a few short animated parts. Like this one here, that's based on the FNAF movie, I believe. Yeah, based on a scene from the FNAF 2 movie, just in time for the anniversary. And this one's by Mark. Just Mark. But yeah, the art style here is actually really good. Ooh, that Toy Chica. Nope. Oh wait, is she good? Oh, this is actually insane. Oh boy. This part might be gory, but I'm not sure. Oh boy, yep. Oh no. Yeah, there it is. Ugh. Yep, exactly like the FNAF 2 movie. Very good. Very good so far. But I do hate the Igor stuff, like that. Alright, the next short is right here. I was typing in the Chaos Harmony Squad about the 12th anniversary of FNAF, and Freddy from Freddy Discord server. Oh, okay. Alright, now this one I love a lot. Sperry. I could be saying I'm wrong, but they do a lot of great artwork for 10 years in the Don Bluth art style, and this is one of them. And from what I remember, they also agree with me on Freddy Fazbear should be voiced by the same person who voiced Sully from Monsters Inc. I kind of forgot what the name was. Hold on. Who voiced Sully in Monsters Inc.? John Goodman. Yeah, John Goodman would definitely be a good voice for Freddy. So let's see this one.
That wasn't very funny. What's this?
What do you know? It scares little kids and little monsters.
I wasn't scared. I have allergies.
Sure.
Hey, Randall, save it for the scare floor, will you?
Yeah, see? There. That's the voice for him. That's the voice for Freddy.
Sure.
Hey, Randall, save it for the scare floor, will you?
I'm in the zone today, Sullivan. Gonna be doing some serious scaring, putting up some big numbers.
Wow, Randall, that's great. That should make it even more humiliating when we break the record first.
Oh, it's actually the voices from Monsters Inc., so that's even more perfect.
Do you hear that? It's the winds of change.
You hear it? You hear the winds of change? What a creep. One of these days, I am really gonna let you teach that guy a lesson.
Nice. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna be right back real quick. Because I think someone just arrived. Hold on. Mute. Okay, and I'm back. Yeah, my family just arrived back home, so let's just let you know I'm streaming. Oh, what's next? You gonna watch 5 a.m. at Freddy's? I've already seen all of it, so probably not. But, the next one, let's see. Trying to pick the right one that's short enough so we could get to the big ones, because the other ones are like around a half hour to an hour long. We'll go with this one here. Let me just share it. Okay, there we go. And then add to stage. There we go. Next one is Dr. Andy D Productions, and they do a lot of good FNAF redesign videos in the style of like actual cartoons. And I believe we have already reacted to a few of them. Like I think we saw FNAF 2 and 3. So the next one that they're currently working on are the fourth one. So these I have not seen yet. So let's start with this one.
Welcome to Breakfast with the
And
Tiffany.
there's an ad. Wait, what? FNAF 2, FNAF World 2 and Security Breach 2? I'll probably check that out later. Okay, this is a stop motion animation. And this is not an actual animatronic. Oh yeah. Commercial opening. I guess that's all the work in progress that they have for the next video. And then there's this one. I did see, but I'm doing this to re-remember. Well, you gotta get a new banjo tray, Bonnie. I forgot about that. Was that the bite of 87? Exactly. Alright, next up, I think this is the full video. I could be wrong. What would Fredbear's Family Diner look like as a real restaurant? So I think this is the full FNAF 4 redesign video, but I could be wrong. Warning contains loud noises and jump scares, because it's FNAF. And no AI was used to create any of this.
There's a brand new Freddy expand scenes.
Oh.
Bring Bonnie to a performance like never before, with the greatest selection of So When Your Family. There's Family Dinner, where fantasy and fun come to life. Come to life.
They come to life, alright.
The late 70s were an interesting time when it comes to technology. The video game industry was starting up. For the first time, the idea of a home computer was finally possible, although it wasn't exactly cheap, and the idea of using animatronics as a form of entertainment started to become popularized. With events like the New York World Fair in 1964, as well as the early audio animatronics scene in Disneyland, it showed people, mainly businesses, that animatronics could be used as a form of profitable entertainment, resulting in animatronics booming in various industries: arcades, restaurants, parks. Despite being used for family attractions, animatronics are still mostly remembered restaurants, parks.
They do it in airports too back in the day? Did not know that. This man did a lot of research.
Despite being used for family attractions, animatronics are still mostly remembered for one unintentional reason. Which brings us to this guy. Fredbear's Family Diner is the original restaurant that predates Freddy's Pizzeria, taking place in the early to mid-70s. The most we see about Fredbear's Diners in the main games is in the 8-bit segment in FNAF 4, which gives us an idea on how the atmosphere, stage, and how the happened.
And how the bite happened.
For Fredbear's design, I wanted him to be accurate to the 70s animatronics while also keeping the element that makes him Fred.
Wait, what? Oh, that was actually part of the video. Fredbear animatronic diagnosis. April 18th, 1983. Oh, it's like the actual old school Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. Purple top hat and bow tie, custom made yellow fur pattern, or pattern shirt, withered out purple tux, needs to be replaced, and missing microphone and stitches. Wrist movements are not functioning, head raising, collider missing, and jaw plate too loose. Eyelids mechanism damage, needs repair, hair fabric to be replaced, and cracks and damage to the frontal John. Well, this is the teaser for it. Seems pretty good so far. Like, keep in mind, like they said, this is no AI, actual 2D animations, and not real animatronics. And yet it made it so good. Next up is Spring Bonnie. A bright purple bow tie and overalls. A light beige long sleeves shirt. Custom made leather vest. Deteriorating. And wooden purple banjo. He's like, should I hold it like this? Hand movements, cylinder leaks, several tears in vests, and John close Nope. Oh. Oh, background animatronic based on the character Chica's Magic Rainbow. Oh, that's cool. Raises into frame in front of the backdrop. That's the second time that I've seen an animatronic version of Chica's Magic Rainbow. The first being from a new favorite fan game of mine. Oh, the bunny is... Wait. The bunny is not innocent as it looks. It holds a dark past trapped in the backstage. Oh. Parts in service. Oh. Oh. Hello? Oh. Okay, we got glasses. Beethoven. The Fredbear sketches. Tape. What happened was a tragedy. A simple act of carelessness. It should have ended there at the spot. But he broke a promise, his own promise. Watch. Oh boy. Company announcements. The staff and management are deeply shocked and saddened by the terrible tragedy involving young guests. Based on eyewitnesses, this is the result of foul play and was not at It was not the fault of our doings. Either way, Fredbear's Family Diner will remain closed the following weekend as we clean and investigate further. The following with that statement, Fredbear Animatronic Entertainment will be temporarily suspended the following week as we take all the precautions necessary. The safety of our guests is utmost concern for us. Well, I mean, yeah, because of the bite. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the families and guests impacted by the tragedy as the restaurant focused on the experience of our guests. We want to assure you that these types of incidents are not taken lightly, and we will make sure that we will try our hardest to prevent an incident like this from happening again. Sincerely, co-founder and manager William Afton. Liar. Seems right. Oh. A local businessman and co-founder, Fredbear's Family Diner, Henry Emily, and way to do it. Might try something like that for my channel one day. Like if I ever do a FNAF redesign video, I'll try something similar to that, but I'm not sure how to do any props. And this one just released 7 hours ago, so let's see this one. Well, there we go, plain and simple. Alright, so now that we've got the short videos out of the way, it's time for the longer ones. We'll start with this one. We're going to be checking out 2 videos by Bronze Films. Wait, did I subscribe to him? Yes. Alright. But this is If Help Wanted was rebooted as a classic FNAF game concept. This does sound interesting, so let's check it out.
Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted was released more than 6 years ago, which is just crazy to think about when considering all the new lores in games since then. And it can even be argued that Help Wanted was a soft reboot to the franchise, bringing in an entirely new side to the lore and timeline that a lot of us grew up with and remember that is now being known as the Mimic Arc. But what if Help Wanted was entirely different? What if Help Wanted was a classic FNAF game, incorporating elements, game mechanics, and lore from Scott Cawthon's games that we all know and remember? Well, join me today as I cover a fully animated game concept of what a point-and-click version of this game would look like that I'm calling FNAF Help Wanted Reimagined. A game concept that will go over the mechanics, gameplay, different nights, endings, Easter eggs, lore, and minigames, all creating my version of this FNAF game. But for a quick disclaimer, by no means am I saying that this is what Help Wanted should have been or that Stewart Studios should have done this instead. I absolutely love Help Wanted, and not only is it one of the scariest FNAF games, but in my opinion it has some of the best lore that every future FNAF game would build off of. This is just a fun different take on the game using the past FNAF games as inspiration. So what does a quote-unquote classic FNAF game look like? Well, I actually think it's a few things that I've tried to incorporate with this game concept. Number 1, it should include a point-and-click style of gameplay that we saw with the first 7 FNAF games. And typically it's in an office with hallways or vents surrounding the room. Number 2, it should include a cam-like system that shows us the route of animatronics or threats to to help us survive. And number 3, like the name suggests, there should be at least 5 different nights of the player fighting off animatronics, with each one progressively getting harder and a chance of there being bonus nights as well. And finally, number 4, there's usually lore and a story, where luckily here we already have a lot of lore from the actual game to go off of. So combining all of this with Help Wanted, we get this final product. To set the scene, converting Help Wanted into an office-based click-and-point game was honestly a bit difficult. As with a game like Secret of the Mimic, it was way easier, and you should totally check out that reimagined project after this one. In a sense, Help Wanted is already technically a classic game with game modes featuring gameplay from the main 5 games, especially with something like Help Wanted Mobile, as originally my plan was to have each night take place in a different FNAF game, but again, that would just be Help Wanted Mobile. There had to be something more and something different, so this game will take place in the hub and will be drastically different to just the VR game. Here you'll find yourself in the exact same area from Help Wanted, just with some slight adjustments. The player in the game hub, where you can select different mini games, will both be turned around and will now be facing the prize counter. Tables and chairs around you will also be slightly different, using props from past games and themes like Rockstar animatronic themed cups and plates alongside balloons from Pizzeria Simulator. There will also be some hints and Easter eggs to past and future locations that you can keep an eye out for once we're in the office. But this is your classic office. This is where you're going to be fighting off animatronic one night after another. But what about the camp systems and all the levels from Help Wanted? Well, because we're in virtual reality and in a sense this hub is in Rio, it's hard to incorporate a traditional camera system showing off the location or pizzeria when there isn't one. So instead, there will be 5 cams that feature the first 5 main FNAF games, the same way Help Wanted featured these games with levels mirroring their actual gameplay. So in virtual reality, you would be traveling from game to game, stopping animatronics from escaping their game and making their way into the main hub or into your office. But obviously playing 5 FNAF games at once would basically be impossible, so you'll instead perform the basic function of each game that I'll go over in the gameplay portion. And don't worry, the other levels in Help Wanted, like the repair stages, are still in this game, just in a different mode I'll talk about later. So now that you hopefully have a few of the basic stages are still in this game.
That would be very interesting, just like doing a repair game, but on Springtrap so you can see all the organs inside of him.
Just in a different mode I'll talk about later. So now that you hopefully have a few of the basics of this game, now let's jump straight into it, starting with how the game would actually begin. Of course, like the earlier FNAF games, we have to start off with a Help Wanted ad newspaper. Here, Fazbear Entertainment is looking for someone to participate in an all-new Fazbear experience that involves a volunteer playing a new VR game over the course of a week. The VR game is being advertised as the brand new start for the company that revolutionizes how you see the animatronics, an all-new horror experience. After this, I would honestly keep the start of the base Help Wanted game, where Hand Unit perfectly lays out the foundation of the new lore of the franchise and lore that perfectly explains the soft reboot. This horror VR experience also just works with my classic version of it. The VR game used to dismiss the fictitious events of the franchise fit in with a volunteer playing this game for 5 nights. So after the newspaper and the introduction segment, you'll be thrown right into your office and right into the gameplay. Now, one of the last things I want to bring up before we get to the gameplay are the nightly phone calls, another pretty important aspect from the original games. Here, the phone calls are replaced by Hand Unit checking in on you as you navigate the VR game. He'll be updating you on Fazbear, their plans on expansion, and will give you more context to how the nightly system works.
We have got to the point where...
And there's an ad. Ad jump scare.
To the Five Nights at Freddy's virtual experience. Brought to you by the one and only Fazbear Entertainment. We hope you enjoy your stay. And thank you for joining the team once more, Mr. Smith. Remember, the rules are simple. Keep the VR mask on throughout the entirety of your 6-hour shift. Do not remove it. And repeat this until Friday.
That would be pretty bad for your eyes if you kept a VR headset on for 6 whole hours. I mean, that's coming from me when I put my own headset on, but I do take it off when the battery dies after, what, an hour or 2? At least I let my eye rest.
To receive payment. Take this as some sort of experiment, where we, the Fazbear team, want to study the long-term effects that the mask and VR game can have on the human brain. But don't worry. There is absolutely nothing to worry about. So don't take it off. Good luck. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Now, last thing before we jump in, I actually want to mention Helpy will be in this game, which I was really excited to add. Here, he'll appear on your screen like in Ruin, giving you tips on how the game works, like what buttons do what, and the general layout of the game.
We hope you enjoy your stay. And thank you for joining the team once more, Mr.
How many times do I need to hear this same speech?
You have your left and right hallway both equipped with the light that can be turned on with the respective buttons, but like with any game, they will use power, so use them wisely. To your right, you'll find Foxy's Cove, where only the different Foxy animatronics throughout the 5 games can appear. To your left, you'll find another hallway and entrance. Here, the advantage is that whatever animatronic teleports here, they'll be much closer to you than the other and have a higher chance of jump scaring you. In front of you, you'll also find this breaker. Whenever an animatronic is in front of you, pull the lever which will reset the VR game and will send the animatronic back to their designated game. So looking back to the center console, this will be how you will change between games. Pressing down on the spacebar, you will now be inside the FNAF 1 game. Again, playing 5 games at once would be too much, so you wouldn't be checking all the cams, playing a music box, or checking a closet. You'll just be completing the basic function. In FNAF 1, here you can look around your office and you'll have to check the lights in both hallways while also closing the doors on any animatronics when they're near your office. If you fail to do this, they will get past you and will appear in your office. In FNAF 2, the basic function will simply be to wear the Freddy mask whenever there's an animatronic in front of you. Again, if you don't do it or if you time it wrong, they will get past you. In FNAF 3, you can look around your office just like in FNAF 1. Springtrap and the Phantoms will appear on your left doorway and through the vent system on your right side. So to get rid of them, use the system panel to play Balloon Boy's voice in a different room.
This will be very tricky to
In FNAF 4, you'll be on the left side of the bedroom. You can look out the door into the left hallway to find a small light illuminating the area. Running back, you can then close the door on any nightmare animatronic until they're gone.
What about the other?
In Sister Location, you'll find yourself right in front of Valor's gallery where any 2 random animatronic will be up on her stage. You can also find the shock panel that you have to use to shock the Funtime animatronics back to their stage before they walk off into your office.
So basically like plus triangle.
It's also important to note that only 2 animatronics per game can appear, meaning a total of 10 animatronics will be active per night. These animatronics will also be completely different, making one night completely different from another. But instead of explaining how a night would work, why don't I just show you? With this first example, it's all about showing you how an animatronic will progress into your office. In FNAF 1, look left and right to find animatronics. In FNAF 2, wear the mask on Withered Freddy, who will be keeping an eye out throughout this example. In FNAF 3, none other than Springtrap will be walking towards you, so play the Balloon Boy's voice line to get rid of him.
And of course he has a zombie movement.
In FNAF 4, look outside the door. If an animatronic is there, quickly close the door until you have heard that they left. In Sister Location, only shock an animatronic when they are right in front of you. Remember, balance all these games while checking back into your main office to make sure no one slipped through. So make sure to check each hallway as well.
But wait, what happens if the animatronic does get you in the VR world? Like while you don't have the headset on? Will they still get you?
It's also worth mentioning that you have to go through the games one at a time, so you can't just skip from FNAF 1 to FNAF 4. If an animatronic is inside of your office, keep an eye on them to monitor how close they are, as resetting the game will only work when they're right in front of you. Once they are close enough, quickly flip the switch. With another example showing the faster pace of this game, in FNAF 3, make sure to watch out for the vents where you'll find Springtrap getting closer and closer, so press the button playing Balloon Boy's voice. In your office, a few animatronics have slipped by with Nightmare Fredbear right in front of you. As always, press the lever to send him back.
So it's literally digital hallucinations.
The more time you spend in the games, the higher chance an animatronic will have to get closer and closer to being right in front of you. And one last time, send Toy Bonnie back where you're able to clear all the animatronics in your office, where you then have to prepare for another wave. When looking at a scenario where you simply mess up, if you don't pull the lever when an animatronic is right in front of you, the game will take longer to reset, allowing an animatronic to get near you and to jump scare you.
Yeah.
When playing games on PC, do you ever wonder if someone...
And another ad. Really? interesting concept so far.
Now taking a look at the first animatronic with the unique mechanic, Foxy. Right away I knew Foxy had to be a special animatronic and not just one that appeared somewhere in your office normally. So what better way to include him than with Foxy's code that is already included in Help Wanted's hub. Here there are a few stages with Foxy. In the first stage, of course, there's nothing.
Oh yeah.
However, the next stage you'll notice that a Foxy will begin to pop their head out of the curtain, meaning Foxy's already in your office will not leave until you reset them back.
Well, I kind of like that. It's kind of like the FNAF 2 teasers.
In the third stage, Foxy's entire body will now be peering out of the curtains and is one step closer to jump scaring you. In the fourth stage, Foxy will now completely be out of his cove and will be more of a threat than ever.
Ooh.
In the last stage, a Foxy will be right in front of you, where of course you need to reset them back into their game, but if you don't, you'll meet the end of your night.
So it's literally any Foxy in general.
Now with all the different Balloon Boys, each Balloon Boy from their different games will actually have their own unique mechanic that of course line up with how they worked in their designated games, just slightly adjusted to fit with my concept if needed, so honestly including Balloon Boy here was pretty easy. With OG FNAF 2 Balloon Boy, of course you will stop the lights on both your hallways from working. Balloon Boy can't be sent back to their game and you forcefully have to wait until they leave after some period of time. JJ from FNAF 2 can also appear. Here she will disable the breaker system, meaning if an animatronic is in front of you, with the Nightmare Balloon Boy from FNAF 4, here he will sit on your desk after leaving his game and he will disable the ability to wear the Foxy mask, which is what even brings you to the FNAF games. Now with Phantom Balloon Boy, and something that will actually apply to all Phantoms, once a Phantom is in front of you, you will forcefully be jump scared and you won't be able to send them back to their game. This would disrupt any gameplay, so if you're in a FNAF game, this jump scare will kick you out and will bring you back to your main office. Now with the puppets, their mechanics will revolve around plushies. When a puppet enters your office, she will begin to walk towards you, and simply turning the lever will not work to send them back to their game. Now I just want to say I do think these plushies are important as they show up a lot of times in the modern FNAF game, so of course they play a pretty big role here as I'll explain later as well. So you'll notice a plushie on your desk that correlates with the puppet in front of you.
Yeah.
So take this plushie and travel to the game where that puppet came from. Here you'll find a new button on screen allowing you to place the puppet onto that game. Looking back into the office, the puppet will now be gone and will no longer be a threat.
So you just take a plushie from the real world and put it in the game world and then the puppet goes away?
Looking at another example, here you have Nightmarian creepily walking towards you. Same deal as last time. Find the plushie somewhere on your desk, travel to the game the puppet came from, and place the plushie somewhere in that game. Do this as fast as you can before the puppet reaches you to jump scare you. Of course, this can't be Help Wanted without Glitch Trap. Now I won't say who Glitch Trap is here, but there are definitely hints and it's not as obvious as it seems. Like with the base Help Wanted game, Glitch Trap
I mean, we know who Glitch Trap is. It's the Mimic.
will appear towards the beginning of your gameplay and will gradually get closer and closer to you. But here I also wanted to include him in the games themselves as there are rare chances that you'll find Glitch Trap in your office replacing an animatronic.
Is it really you? You're supposed to be dead.
I wanted to make it clear that something is here and that something is essentially always watching you.
Say hi to Gabriel for me, will you?
I also like the idea of Hand Unit dismissing Glitch Trap with a few voice lines.
Welcome back. Great to see you again. Congrats on, quote-unquote, surviving another night, as we like to say. You know, it's crazy what stories people were able to come up with about Freddy's. Like walking animatronics or rogue endos. Perfectly fictitious stories for this game. So we hope you're enjoying it. But we did want to warn you about a certain glitch some of our other beta testers are reporting. You may have already seen a rabbit-like suit walking around or staring at you in one of the FNAF games. Don't worry, it's not a threat, and by no means can it actually hurt you. Just ignore it while we try to figure out a solution on our end. Again, Under no circumstances should you get close to it, or even look at it. That said, good luck, and have fun.
He will specifically have a chance of a
Good luck.
What is that? TOHJ?
And have fun.
That's weird.
He will specifically have a chance of appearing on night 2 behind the prize counter and will only randomly appear from here. On night 3, he'll be in the middle of your office.
What are you?
On night 4, he'll nearly be right in front of you and will be waving at you.
Have you really come back again?
Finally, on night 5, he will be right next to you, causing static on your screen, and will have 2 exclusive mechanics to night 5, making it the hardest one yet that I'll go over soon. Golden Freddy, arguably one of the coolest and most interesting parts of the...
One sec, sorry, there we go. Sorry, I was trying to plug in my computer because the battery was about to die.
One of my personal favorite animatronics. So when it came to Help Wanted, I was honestly surprised he wasn't there at all, and I mean like at all. I would have even been happy with him in a corner for a second or something like that. So with this reimagined project, I knew I had to include Golden Freddy, and not just with some Easter egg or cameo. I wanted him to have a significant role that would impact the lore moving forward. So with that, remember, this is just my interpretation. When loading into the office, there's a rare chance that you'll find a Golden Freddy plushie inside your office. Interesting, another plushie mechanic which may or may not have some lore importance. Here, this is a way to tell you that you now need to complete a set of steps to unlock a secret, so travel to the games to flash Golden Freddy with your flashlight before you get jump scared or before he disappears.
Oh, right up in the face. There's an ad, of course. And skip. Oh. There's a lot more chrome now. Save her. Oh, it's glitching into the princess. Oh, it's just sorry for that back there. Still look just like him. Why are you here? You need to stop both of them. There's one. Stop the glitches. You do your part, and I'll save her.
Like I said earlier, Night 5 will be the hardest, as Glitchup will be adding 2 new mechanics to this night that you have to deal with alongside usual gameplay. In the office with Glitchup being on your side, he'll have the ability to teleport characters right into your office, essentially allowing them to skip the line and become a main threat. On top of this, you may have noticed a Glitchup plushie near the prize counter. Now you'll be able to actually travel to the plushie and to the prize counter.
Oh yeah.
With this mechanic, you'll notice that this mysterious endoskeleton arm is attempting to grab the plushie for some reason, so grab the plushie and place it on the opposite side before they grab it. If you fail to stop the endoskeleton from taking the plushie for themselves, this will happen.
Another glitch. Yep, glitch.
But if you're able to avoid the animatronics, keep an eye on Glitchtrap teleporting animatronics and stopping the endo from reaching the plushie, you'll unlock the first ending where the night isn't over quite yet. Here your job is simple. You can now leave your office where you have to find the correct room to move on to the next game until you escape Glitchtrap, so follow one simple rule: follow the tragedies.
You really thought it would be that easy, don't you remember? I always come back.
He said the line, Chad. He said the line. Oh, yikes.
But then there was the bite of 87. Yeah. It's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe, you know?
So it's literally
Doesn't it all feel so familiar? Where do you think you're going? You will never be able to stop us.
So is it just suggesting that Fritz, the character we play as, is Michael or something?
This way.
Because some parts I am understanding, but some parts are a little confusing. Oh wow, they're literally doing credits.
Just kidding, video's not over yet, so please don't swipe off since we still have a lot to go over. So with this ending, it was of course inspired by the actual game where you have to complete a maze to reach the end where Glitch Trap lures you into a room and where you're then stuffed inside of an animatronic. I kept everything the same except the way the maze worked.
Wait. Oh, we're stuffed inside the Rockstar animatronics.
I instead wanted to focus on tragedies that were the key to move on to the next game. Tragedies that I believe play a big role in the modern timeline and the past agony and horror that is fueling it. So find Phone Guy being stuffed inside of the Freddy suit, the bite of 87, the Springlock incident, the bite of 83, and Michael being scooped. But now we can look at a secret path where you don't follow the rules. If you ignore the tragedies and instead look for the exits, you'll be rewarded with a secret ending. So in FNAF 1, go straight to the exit instead of left to where Phone Guy was stuffed inside of the Freddy suit. Or in a game like FNAF 3, go right and then straight instead of the arcade area where you found Springtrap, where you'll then find an exit leading to FNAF 4.
This way.
So after this, the ending will play like normal, but you'll now find an employee's door to your right allowing you to escape.
Oh. Wait, Mega Pizzaplex. Oh, just like in the actual Help Wanted where we saw the construction of it. And there's the Mimic. Oh, and he's coming towards us.
For the final ending, you unlock it by collecting all 16 tapes just like in the base game. You can find them randomly in different games or in your main office. So collect them before they disappear and you can listen to all the tapes in this room just like in Help Wanted. You can also keep track to how many tapes you've collected with the smaller monitor on your side in your office. After collecting them all, listen to the last one to unlock the final ending.
There is a way to kill it. It wants to escape. To escape through someone. Someone plugged into this game. That's you now. You have to let it begin the process of leaving through you. Then use the disconnect.
Hello. And there's another rat. You know the drill.
And now looking back to the other modes that I mentioned earlier, of course they're still missing from my concept. I had a few ideas on how to incorporate them, like them randomly showing up in the middle of a night as a sort of boss fight, where you would have to complete them in order to get back to your gameplay. But that just seemed like too much for one night, especially on night 5 for example, when you already have so much to deal with. So
wait. Oh, that's a scrapped concept.
Up in the middle of a night as a sort of boss fight, where you would have to complete them in order to get back to your gameplay. But that just seemed like too much for one night, especially on night 5 for example, when you already have so much to deal with. So instead, there'll simply be extra game modes on your menu screen that will be known as overtime. Here, you're working overtime completing different levels that are also based on fictitious events, like dealing with circus baby plushies in a dark room, or of course my favorite, maintenance mode. Here you of course have to repair certain animatronics and complete a certain set of tasks without getting jump scared. To fit it with my concept, it wouldn't just be with the FNAF 1 animatronics, but there would be 5 different levels for the 5 games. FNAF 1 would of course feature Freddy,
Oh yeah.
FNAF 2 would feature Withered Foxy.
Makes sense.
FNAF 3 would feature Springtrap.
Very cool idea.
FNAF 4 would feature the infamous Nightmare Chica.
Yeah.
And Sister Location would feature none other than Circus Baby.
Obviously.
We must restart the system manually.
After completing these levels, not only will you unlock collectibles, which we all love, but you also unlock skins and extra modes for animatronics, which I'll go over soon when I cover Custom Night. There wouldn't be hard versions for the other modes, but there will definitely be for the maintenance levels that I'm calling Tragedy Mode. Of course, this builds off the ending, where the twist is you have to fix the animatronic featured in that tragedy. For example, like in FNAF 1, you have to repair Phone Guy stuffed inside of Freddy by taking objects out and replacing parts of the animatronic.
Yikes.
Okay, let's see. First, there's an introductory greeting from the company that I'm supposed to read. It's kind of a legal thing, you know.
In a game like FNAF 4, you'd have to repair Freddy.
Ooh. Actually, to make that better, what if we actually hear the phone guy telling us what to do? Like, it did have the FNAF phone call, but imagine if the spirit of the phone guy tells us what to do to get him out of the suit before the suit kills us. That would be cool.
Right after the bite of 83, resetting the suit so it's back to suit mode and cranking back the spring locks. Or in FNAF's Sister Location, where you have to try to attempt to fix a certain purple guy who has some animatronic parts stuck inside of him.
Oh, so that's the acid part of the game. Okay.
There is only one.
So wait, is this just another Jeremy situation then, where there's more than one people named Jeremy that we play as? Because in here it says Fritz, and I thought we were playing as Michael right there, but no, he's right in front of us. So I guess it's a Jeremy situation where there's more than one Fritz.
Find you. I'm going to come find you.
Now this next part isn't necessarily another mode, but I like the idea of having hoaxes included in my game. If Fazbear is really trying to say that what happened in the story was fake, why not include actual hoaxes from the FNAF franchise that most of us probably remember? In FNAF 1, we could have Sparky, which I know is technically made canon with Secret of the Mimic, but still it could be a fun addition and a great callback to those early hoaxes.
There's the purple guy in.
With FNAF 2, we could see the purple guy animatronic, which is honestly one of my favorites, and Toy Golden Freddy, as they would simply just replace an animatronic that can spawn. In FNAF 3, we would see Fred Chat, where with all the teasers, we thought that this originally was going to be Golden Freddy. In FNAF 4, we could have a different model of Fredbear inspired by the mini-games where the Bite of 83 took place, as I personally believe those designs aren't really canon, so in a sense they could be seen as a hoax.
Oh yeah.
In Sister Location, I thought it would be really fun if we saw someone like Golden Funtime Freddy, since Golden Freddy is notably missing from that game.
And Chica.
But of course there has to be minigames that could possibly set up future entries and give us an insight to the lore and story. I've always liked the idea of minigames randomly being able to occur in between nights. This just makes them feel rare, and I've always liked the idea of minigames randomly being able...
Sorry, I'm currently eating right now as we do this, but there it is again. FDO.
To occur in between nights. This just makes them feel rare and in a sense more enjoyable when it finally happens. So here are two examples of how I would do minigames for Help Wanted.
Hen, it's me. After all this time, it's finally ours. Those wasted breaths were for nothing, but it should pay off. Any news on Edwin's whereabouts? Good. It better stay that way. Remember, this stays between us. Once I figure this out, this will be our future. See you tomorrow.
So that was the second ending, I think. Oh.
Don't be scared. It will all be over soon. Free me, Vanessa.
And another one. Yeah, the video's pretty good and decent so far, actually.
But now let's finally look at Custom Night. Here with the basics, you would be allowed to disable any FNAF game from a night. You can remove specific animatronics if you don't want someone like Balloon Boy or the puppet to show up. And of course you can turn up the difficulty of every FNAF game. On top of this, I would also add skins that would change the appearance of every animatronic available, like a black light skin mode inspired by a cut level from the actual game, giving every single animatronic this really cool neon design. Or you could have something like the Unwithereds, where every animatronic who has withering would now be fixed, including the nightmares. There are just endless possible ways on how you could customize this game, which is why I won't go too deep into this final section. So, with that said, this is Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted Reimagined. Now with this game concept, there are a few things missing, like the Dreadbird DLC. Now this was simply because, in my opinion, this deserves its own dedicated video and game concept. There is just so much lore and story that I think could basically act as a standalone game in a way, centered around Fall Fest. So I didn't just want to squeeze it in with this video and rushing something that I think could be pretty unique. So that will be my next game concept that will be pretty different from the base DLC. If I ever get to Security Breach, I would do the same for Ruin, giving this DLC its own video. Princess Quest is missing since the mobile port of Help Wanted did include this minigame. There are teasers and a setup to Princess Quest, but ultimately I think it makes more sense that the story begins with Security Breach and is exclusive to just those arcade machines. But if you made it to the very end of this video, first of all, thank you so much, and second of all, there is a secret ending or video to this game concept that I want you to find. Throughout this video, there were a set of codes that flash on the screen briefly. Putting these codes together in a certain order will bring you to this hidden video. So here's the first part to that puzzle. But with all that said, thank you all so much for watching. I had so much fun making this video and I hope I can make more in the future. So what's...
I'm probably gonna go ahead and check that out later, but I'm not sure. Huh? Oh, no, it's something else. Alright, that was pretty cool. Okay, we got a few more videos left. We'll do the next one that he did as well, Bronze Films. This time it's how they would fix FNAF 1.
The first and original Five Nights at Freddy's game is arguably the most memorable and perfect FNAF game that there is. A FNAF...
So I will be honest, I do hope it's a little more interesting than the Help Wanted one, because it did have some cool mechanics here and there, but at the same time just felt a little meh to me for some reason. I don't know. But it's still very good. So let's...
FNAF game that was the starting point to the rest of the series that has been expanding for the last 11 years now. But what if we were to try and fix Five Nights at Freddy's 1 by changing the pizzeria where we make it more realistic and by revisiting the animatronics by using redesigned characters that brings new life and horror to FNAF 1? Well, my name is Bronze Films, and as you read by the title, here's how I fixed or redesigned the FNAF 1 pizzeria and animatronics.
Like details. Okay, I'm liking it already. Oh, Foxy's got his pirate outfit this time. Oh, there's Sparky. Oh, the unwithered truth, yes. Okay, I'm starting to like this already.
Before we get started, for a quick disclaimer, I don't actually think anything needs to be fixed with FNAF 1 or even the animatronics. Yes, I know I just said it, but that's honestly for the sake of the title, and FNAF 1 is perfect as it is. Instead, this is just my interpretation and how I think aspects of FNAF 1 could have looked like if we had the entire lore and story to look back on. This video is also heavily inspired by FN Plus or FNAF Merch Plus, who made this amazing video titled Fazbear Fright Sucks as a horror attraction, so I fixed it. Please everyone go check out his video where he makes some great fixes to the FNAF 3 pizzeria. So all credit for this idea goes to him and his channel. So let's first go over everything wrong with the FNAF 1 location and what even needs to be fixed. As a whole, the pizzeria...
Okay, one second, definitely gotta check that one out later. Okay, get rid of the ad.
It works great, and especially when it comes to the gameplay and the environment it creates. But it definitely feels like some rooms are missing, and at times some rooms feel a bit flat. So at its core, I really set out to make my own pizzeria feel realistic and closer to what I think the pizzeria would look like if it were made today. I took a mix of inspiration from other pizzerias in the franchise, the FNAF 1 movie location, which is the most realistic example we have, inspiration from real life restaurants and places I've been to, and even from a Chuck E. Cheese that I used to visit as a kid. So let's go over the original pizzeria, starting with the dining area. This is a wide and dark area where you usually find Bonnie and Chica. It's at the center of the location that the pizzeria almost builds off of. There's not much to fix besides one flaw we'll get back to soon. We also have the main stage and Foxy's Pirate Cove, which are both great and do the job, but I think where they're located in the pizzeria can always be improved on. From here we have two connecting hallways that lead us to the office, hallways that create the perfect ambiance when an animatronic is at the end of it staring at the camera, hallways that I feel like are a part of almost every single FNAF game and will be a part of my pizzeria. There are also the supply closets attached to these hallways that add to the horror experience in such a natural way where you can even find Easter eggs here, so of course I also have to include them in my pizzeria. From here we have the infamous FNAF 1 office we all know and love. This is honestly the thing I don't want to change at all. The two doors, the desks with monitors in front of you, and pull-up cam system work perfectly. The only thing there is to change is incorporating lore from other games and treating FNAF 1 as if it was released alongside the other games or lore. But with the rest of the pizzeria, this is where I think some changes can be made to really make it feel like this is an open and active restaurant while
To be fair, Scott did say that he didn't really plan for FNAF to be as popular as it was, so...
games and treating FNAF 1 as if it was released alongside the other games or lore. But with the rest of the pizzeria, this is where I think some changes can be made to really make it feel like this is an open and active restaurant while having its own secrets. For example, we have the backstage, which is fine, but for one, it's not even behind the stage like you imagine it would be, and there's only one endoskeleton and a few animatronic heads. Would this really be enough if something happened to one of the animatronics? Shouldn't there just be more? Or with the restrooms, we don't really see them besides the outside where you can find Chica at times, making it feel like parts of the pizzeria are hidden for some reason, and this also applies to the kitchen. Now,
or Freddy hiding behind one of the bathrooms.
I get the point of this camera is so players can rely on audio instead of visuals, but I think this could have been incorporated somewhere else while allowing us to see the kitchen and even have a mechanic here. So maybe by now you agree that there should be some changes, so let's take the FNAF 1 or map layout and start to make our changes. The first thing we're going to do, and actually the only thing that will stay the same, is keeping the dining area and where the main stage is placed. Everything else will be moved, and of course we'll add new parts to the building. We will, however, make the dining area a bit larger and will also make the stage larger to accommodate for the bigger audience. So first things first, let's add a prize counter to the left of the stage and in the very corner of the dining area. I'm honestly surprised the original FNAF 1 location never had a prize counter. We did see one in games like FNAF 2 or Ultimate Custom Night, and eventually a prize counter was added to the FNAF 1 map featured as the game hub for Help Wanted.
True.
The prize counter is in the gap in between the two hallways, and it seems like this is definitely something Scott would have gone back and changed. We also have a doored off supply closet near the bottom corner that would usually be on one of the hallways. From here, and really the first major change I've made is adding an arcade area to the right of the diner that is the same height as the dining area but overall smaller. This took inspiration from FNAF 3, Pizzeria Simulator, and even all of the modern locations that have some sort of arcade area. Especially if you believe that the FNAF 1 and 3 locations are the exact same, it makes a lot of sense to have one. But on top of that, I would also add Foxy's Pirate Cove to the upper left corner of the arcade, making him the animatronic overseeing this area.
I was gonna say that also felt like the Unweathered Truths version, because Pirate Cove was still here, and the arcade would just loop around the cove. But no, it's a separate room this time with the cove in the arcade.
I've always thought that Foxy should have a much larger role and in a sense should almost be separate from the other animatronics, so this would actually be known as Foxy's Arcade Cove, where kids would play arcade machines and visit Foxy. Moving to another change, and one that I feel like we all knew was missing, is the entrance located at the bottom of the dining area. This adds to the realism of the pizzeria, and basically every location after this one had an entrance. It may seem like a small thing, but I feel like it's the start to making this feel all more whole and more together.
Yeah, exactly, because we never really know where the entrance is in FNAF 1. Because, like, usually, like, the stage and the secret room is here, and the entrance will be, like, between them, like they do in Gmod. But then in FNAF Plus, before it was suddenly cancelled, the entrance will be, like, around here by the stage and the backstage.
So connected to the entrance will be something else I see as realistic, and
So wait, then what about the security office if the entrance is down there?
more whole and more together. So connected to the entrance will be something else I see as realistic, an employee break room. Break rooms aren't really something we saw until the modern games, but it still fits perfectly with the FNAF 1 location, and we have a whole mechanic to it we'll get back to later. There are connecting employee doors to the entrance and to the diner, so next to the break room but not connected we have the safe room. Now this won't technically be on the camera system as you wouldn't be able to see what's inside this room besides any specific way we'll go over towards the end of the video, but I think we all know why it's important to have a safe room in this pizzeria and what it eventually leads to. And just knowing that this room was right next to an arcade and employee break room that were constantly filled with people makes the situation that much more interesting. Continuing to move to the left, we have a change that I took straight from the FNAF 1 movie location, the loading dock. The loading dock isn't necessarily needed for the pizzeria, but obviously they'll need boxes of supplies. So this is where they'd get everything they need in order to run the pizzeria. And I also
Actually, do pizzerias have loading docks? Huh. Do pizzerias have loading docks? Most standard pizzerias do not have loading docks because typically neighborhood pizza shops are small retail spaces. They receive ingredient deliveries through standard ground level back doors or front entrances using hand trucks. Alright, but then comes the real question. Does Chuck E. Cheese have loading docks? Most Chuck E. Cheese locations do not have raised truck-level loading docks. Oh, they don't. They are typically built into standard retail strip malls, freestanding suburban buildings, or shop center storefronts that rely on ground level, etc. So yeah, pizzerias don't really have loading docks.
also think it just adds to the horror environment and the idea that something could be hiding back there. Moving up, we actually have the hallway that connects to the right side of the office that is now moved up all the way here, now connecting the loading dock to the kitchen, and it'll simply be known as hallway number 2. Now with the kitchen being in the upper corner, this is straight from the Chuck E. Cheese I used to visit, and really I feel like we see this with any attraction. The kitchen is usually the furthest away from the entrance and here behind the dining area to make it easy to bring food in and out. Then connected to the kitchen we have the backstage, this time actually behind the main stage. The backstage stretches across the diner acting as a long hallway of backup animatronic parts for supplies.
I mean the backstage makes sense, but for the kitchen, I'm not sure, because I remember once in a real life Chuck E. Cheese that I went to when I was like in middle school, I think. I could be wrong. Middle or elementary. But when I went to Chuck E. Cheese place once, the kitchen and the bathrooms and the salad bar and the gift shop were all in one area that's right next to the stage and the arcade.
So when we cover this room in detail, there's going to be a lot more than just a few animatronic heads. Connected to backstage, we conveniently
I'll probably redraw what I mean later on and put it on the post of my YouTube channel so that you can see what I mean.
have parts in service. The place where animatronics are taken to be fixed or repaired, and the place where we might see some familiar faces. This is a pretty large area compared to most of the pizzeria, since many animatronics would have to be repaired at a time, and it's also holding parts from older locations.
I mean, wouldn't the backstage and parts and service make more sense if they were both the same place, like the same room, instead of just separate rooms?
Parts and service wasn't in FNAF originally, but it makes a lot of sense to have it now, and it'll actually be replacing the right hallway and will be the room right next to our office. Instead of being at the bottom and in front of the dining area, now we'll move it to the left of the diner while keeping the same size of the office. To me, it made more sense that it's further away from the dining area and that there is only one hallway to access it if you weren't an employee. So from here we're gonna add the left hallway or hallway number 1 that has always been here, alongside our second supply closet that is usually there in the FNAF 1 map. But next to this hallway and left to the dining area, we have the restrooms and the entrance to them. This is basically an exact copy to how the restrooms looked in FNAF 1, but the entrance is slightly longer and the restrooms themselves are also much longer, matching the hallway. Because this pizzeria is already as big as it is, it just made sense to make both restrooms much larger. But finally, to end off the pizzeria, we have a vent in the corner of the dining area leading all the way to parts and service. Almost every other FNAF location has a vent, and here I thought only one was necessary. And like many parts of the pizzeria, this will have its own mechanic that we'll get back to in the gameplay portion. So this is my FNAF 1 map. but before we can go over the 3D pizzeria and renders I made, we first need to go over the lineup of animatronics, or what just exactly I changed and why. First, we of course have the classic FNAF 1 Freddy, and right off the bat I have to give massive credits to Nova Bandit for these amazing models that will be linked in the description. You have this great normal design with this hat, bow tie, and mic, but the major difference you might have already noticed is that these animatronics have a really cool fur that makes them feel that much more realistic.
Yes.
It's a small detail that honestly enhances these animatronics in my opinion. I don't really even think a change needed to be made to any of the FNAF 1 designs, but if I were to change something, adding realistic fur would be exactly that.
Exactly. Oh, and you can see the little handprints. You can still see the handprint on his eye there. But yeah, I really like how they would do this with FNAF 1 animatronics, because it makes more sense for them to be like giant animatronic teddy bears, like literally made of plush and fur, instead of just weird metallic parts here and there. I mean, Chuck E. Cheese animatronics have fur, so why didn't they do that with this?
Next we have Bonnie, also having the realistic fur design, and every animatronic on this list will have this feature. Here you also have the classic FNAF 1 Bonnie design we all know and remember, where he's fitted with his guitar and actually has a blue tint, which I love as I honestly always thought that he was blue. Another great design choice by Nova Bandit that I also knew I had to include are the two buttons on the side of his jaw. These are actually from FNAF Help Wanted and from Bonnie's repair level, where you have to press these two buttons to lift off his mask. So in the real world, or knowing that these animatronics are faked regularly, it makes sense to have these buttons visible.
Yeah, that does make sense, but I just realized something. I actually just realized something. Like, what if a kid gets near Bonnie and they accidentally press those buttons? Like, they would get jump scared right in their face and see the face plop out or something. That would be creepier.
Next we have Chica and her cupcake, and like Bonnie we have the two buttons on the side of her head, and this is also from Help Wanted and from Chica's repair level in the kitchen. It just adds more realism to this animatronic, and the cupcake also has a more glossy design. The cupcake also has sharp metal teeth just like in the FNAF 1 movie, which could mean the cupcake can be a threat in certain situations. I'd say Chica's design has always been menacing, so I'm excited to showcase her design in the actual pizzeria and in environments where we actually haven't seen her yet at all. Moving on to the biggest change in the animatronics, we have Foxy, who will now be known as Captain Foxy. This is another amazing design feature by Nova Bandit that allows you to have Foxy wear a pirate coat and hat. I wanted a design choice to fit with him overseeing the arcade area and being in a separate area from the other animatronics. I actually love this design, and I wish it got more recognition, as maybe some of you recognize this Foxy from the Cursed Dreadbird you'll see and from Help Wanted too. It keeps the core of the character while adding a new element to it that also meshes well with the rest of the pizzeria.
Exactly, like give him a more pirate motif to him instead of just the eye patch and hook.
So now looking at the last animatronic that is from FNAF 1, we have Golden Freddy. I think what really elevates this design are the almost burnt or faded parts of the fur and animatronic. We especially see it with the pitch black eyes, and it really does remind me of these designs like on Pip Bonnie or Jackie. A lot of the times this is known as agony tears, and it works perfectly on Golden Freddy. This also just works perfectly with what we know about the character and the possibility two souls could be possessing Golden Freddy. I'm especially excited to explore how we can give Golden Freddy more of a role throughout the game in Pizzeria compared to a small Easter egg in the original game. But now we can look at two animatronics that weren't in the original FNAF game, but I decided to add them because of the larger pizzeria and I just didn't want the restaurant to feel empty. So first up we have Bub, or as some of you may know him, Sparky. Sparky was the very first hook of the franchise and was even included in the FNAF 1 movie, where Scott Cawthon essentially made this hook's canon. And most recently he was made canon in the games in the form of the prototype Springlock Soup Bub that would have been in Fredbear's Family Diner.
Exactly, like Bub would have been the Chica of sorts for Fredbear and Spring Bonnie.
Bub is just one of those characters that could mesh well with really any environment or pizzeria, and here he's just another animatronic, a part of the attractions. You could either think of Bub as a backup animatronic that could replace any one worst case scenario, or as an animatronic that has always been there but maybe a little bit less popular.
And there's another ad. But yeah, I really like how some fans would like add Bub or Sparky or whoever to the FNAF 1 location.
My favorite animatronics on this list, Shadow Freddy. Now Shadow Freddy didn't appear.
It just adds a lot more character to the characters that are missing in some of the shows. Because they do have a dog animatronic in Chuck E. Cheese as well, so FNAF would make sense for that too.
Here until FNAF 2 and has more of a similar design to Withered Golden Freddy. But here he's a shadow version of the FNAF 1 Golden Freddy, and in my little universe, the fact that Shadow Freddy has the same design as the current Golden Freddy in the pizzeria tells us that they're closely connected. Depending on what you believe Shadow Freddy is, I also just think it makes sense for him to be present in a pizzeria that just has so much tragedy or agony as any other location does where he shows up.
Yeah, and plus you can see that they have the agony tears on their face as well. Ooh. Ooh, maybe what if in this version Cassidy is Golden Freddy, but Evan, the crime child, is Shadow Freddy? That would be a lot more cooler.
Now we can go over room by room, over every single
Ooh, the
detail and what this place looks like and does where he shows up. Now we can go.
Oh, I just realized Bonnie is missing an ear on that cutout. When they have like a button speaker, it's literally like the Poppy Playtime.
Over room by room, over every single detail, and what this place looks like brought to life. In order of how we designed this map, first we have the massive dining area. Here we have a much larger area with much more tables and chairs than the original location. More tables allow for more families to visit the pizzeria, and it works with how much larger the pizzeria is in general. The diner is accompanied by different colored lights leading to the different areas fans can visit, like the restrooms or arcade, and the main dining area is accompanied by purple fluorescent lighting that I think makes everything more vibrant. Up top, you'll notice the prize counter with green, blue, and red lights. There are plushies of different animatronics from across the past and current pizzerias open. To the right, you'll find a much larger stage to accommodate more guests wanting to get closer. Of course, you have Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica being the main entertainment for the dining area. Towards the bottom, you can find a simple supply closet with some extra cleaning supplies for the diner, and of course, you also have your classic Freddy poster from FNAF 1. From here, we can start to go into Foxy's Arcade Cove. I took some inspiration from arcade areas we've seen in games like FNAF 3 and even Security Breach. There are arcade machines lined against the two walls. There is also a ski hockey table, a coin pusher arcade machine, and a few claw machines near the entrance. The arcade machines themselves are designed based on different animatronics, and there's also a dedicated Pirate Foxy arcade machine next to his cove. With the cove itself, this is straight from FNAF 1, since I didn't feel like any changes were necessary. The purple curtains and stars create an almost
Well, you could also add some more pirate motif to Pirate Cove as well, like a fake ship or fake treasure chest and palm trees.
nostalgic feeling, and Pirate Foxy fits perfectly with this ambiance and this arcade area. Now we can move towards the bottom of the pizzeria where you can find an all-new entrance. You can find normal things like the counter, registers, and some cabinets alongside a phone. But you can also find red booth-style seats matching the 1990s style of the pizzeria. You can also find the menus behind the counter matching the themes of the animatronics and displaying all the food they have to offer. There are smaller details like some snacks for guests and even a Freddy cardboard cutout that should play some voice lines. This leads us directly to the employee break room with a low blue light setting perfect for all employees. There are red 1980s style kitchen appliances like a fridge and cabinets, alongside red tables with computers for all employees to use. There is also a long foldable table in the center, alongside some lockers on the side for employees, a TV in the corner for entertainment, and a whiteboard near the exit that anyone can use as well. But right next to the break room we have the safe room that every single pizzeria should have at this point. This is where employees would run to if there was some sort of spring lock failure incident, but at this point it's already been boarded up with a fake wall on the arcade side. Now it looks more like some sort of office, fitted with arcade machines, a desk with a computer, and some props on the desk. It won't be seen on the camera system since, as we learn in FNAF 3, cams shouldn't be able to see inside, nor should anyone besides employees know about it. But it will show up on the map itself because to me that is for employees, and we'll find out later how players can actually see inside. Moving left, we have one of my favorite additions, the loading dock. Here we have two garage doors where products would be delivered. We have metal shelves filled with boxes, foods, drinks, and other Fazbear products. I especially love this room because I use assets straight from FNAF Help 1 and 2 and a storage-like room, which really makes this room feel like what an actual loading dock would look like in the FNAF universe. But you also have some wooden pallets, a red hand pallet jack, and some forklifts in the corner. Moving up and looking at hallway number 2, we have light blue lighting, posters from Fazbear Entertainment sponsors and partners, some shelves and spare monitors, and we also have a Bonnie cardboard cutout stashed away in this hallway. Taking the next employee door will be at the infamous kitchen that we never actually saw in FNAF 1. Here I also used official assets from FNAF Help Wanted 1 and 2, specifically from the Chica Repair level which takes place in a kitchen, and from the El Chip level which also has kitchen elements. So I used all of their fridges, shelves, even trash, and these stoves to really make this feel like an official FNAF kitchen. Of course, it's a little messy with pizza or cake scattered around the place, making it feel like it was really being used a part of the pizzeria. Taking another employee door will be backstage, which can always be accessed behind the stage itself. This is a long hallway filled with shelves of animatronic parts, animatronic hands, body parts, and there are also backup props for each of the animatronics, like Freddy's microphone, Bonnie's guitar, Chica's cupcake, and Foxy's hook. There are also some spare parts of withered animatronics from FNAF 2, like Freddy's head in the corner, but obviously they aren't being used. I also decided to add the prototype FNAF 1 animatronics from Secret of the Mimic. I just thought this would be a really cool addition after this game was released, showing what these animatronics look like at their earliest stage. In worst case scenario, they would maybe even be used until the main animatronics are fixed. They also just add to the horror of the pizzeria and the idea that they might move all of a sudden or that they might be in different places than you remembered. I also have a lot more FNAF 1 endoskeletons than just one in the original backstage. In my head, any animatronic has to be ready to be switched out for whatever reason, so there should be at least 4 endoskeletons that are able to switch out any of the core 4 characters. Which leads us to where the animatronics would be fixed, parts and service. Now this room might have some mixed feelings because I obviously have the toy animatronics stored here. I don't want it to feel like I'm adding these just for the sake of adding them as some sort of Easter egg. I guess to me and how I think about it, after the FNAF 2 location is closed, the toys would have to be moved somewhere, even before they were dismantled and shoved into the FNAF 3 box. So they could have even been moved to the FNAF 1 location, where their spare parts could have also been used to fix the new animatronics. So you have Toy Freddy and a FNAF 2 endoskeleton sitting in a corner because they haven't been dismantled yet, while other animatronics like Toy Bonnie, Chica, Mangle, Balloon Boy, and the puppet have been dismantled and are maybe even being used somewhere else. There's also some basic tools, spare boxes, and parts of another animatronic in the corner that may or may not be Fredbear. So opening the security door, we'll get to the main office. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't change the structure of this office at all. Instead, I swapped what was already on the desk. So for example, instead of having the FNAF 1 cupcake on the desk, I decided to add Funtime Chica's cupcake. Or with the monitors on the desk, I changed the order of them and added a larger monitor on the left displaying one of the sponsors like we saw in Pizzeria Simulator. Of course, we have the same FNAF 1 poster and drawings like in the old office, but I also decided to add a poster for Fredbear's Family Diner, the earliest restaurant at this point. We also have a paper plate pal from FNAF 6 that is honestly just my personal favorite, and a Golden Freddy plush that I feel brings this office together. With the gameplay, I also really like how everything looks. The changes are subtle, but it fits with what we know about the rest of the lore. So to the left of the office, we have the left hallway or hallway number 1. This hallway is basically identical to the one we saw connecting the loading dock to the kitchen. It has the same blue lighting with stars, shelves, and monitors, and it's the place where animatronics will start to get near you. This is also where we're going to have the second supply closet, which actually has spare monitors, flashlights, and even cameras in case something malfunctions with the main office. We also see yet another Fredbear's Family Diner poster advertising what there once was. But now looking at the last set of rooms, we have the restrooms. Here we have the stalls, sinks, mirrors, and even posters of the animatronics. From the restrooms, we're brought into the entrance of these restrooms where we have a yellow neon sign and yellow lights, which also brings us to the next restroom with the exact same layout as the other hallway, just with another animatronic poster. Animatronics like Chica will of course be in these areas just like in FNAF 1. This brings us to the vent right outside the restroom and next to the supply closet. This is where a certain animatronic will enter, and of course they will exit at parts and service right next to your office, so they can essentially reach you the fastest. And design wise, it's just like any other vent we've already seen in the franchise or in any other FNAF game like FNAF 3, grey and rusted. But finally we can start to go over the gameplay, combining all the changes made to the pizzeria and animatronics to show you all how I imagine it would look like finally brought together. So in the office it works exactly like in FNAF 1. You can look to your left and right where you have 2 options to close the doors whenever an animatronic is next to you. And then you can use your light on both sides to light the left hallway and to light parts in service. You have the battery on your top left, and by moving your mouse down you can pull up the cam system. Here you can look around at different areas of the pizzeria with a total of 17 different cams, which might seem like a lot, but it's just a larger pizzeria. You might notice that you can't actually see inside the safe room, but I still decided to keep it on the map itself. Some larger rooms like the loading dock and the backstage actually have 2 cameras showing different angles just to really make sure the player can tell what's going on inside these rooms. So let's look at the mechanics to each of the animatronics and to some rooms. With Bonnie, he essentially works the same way he did in FNAF 1. Bonnie can be seen in a couple of places. He first starts out on the stage and is usually the first one to move. Of course, he can be found in the main dining area and actually in a couple of areas there, where he could be found near the arcade, in the center, or where he's about to reach the hallway. In the hallway, he has a couple of stages getting closer and closer before he actually gets to your office. He can also sneak into the supply closet, so there isn't any change yet, until you find Bonnie at the entrance. If he's here, take a breath, as this is the furthest he can be from your office. I also changed it to where it's now Bonnie in the restroom, so that he's always around the same couple of areas, and instead Chica will be somewhere else. But obviously when he does reach your office, quickly close the door on him, which will force him to go back to his stage or to the entrance. With Chica, she will mainly be in the upper parts of the pizzeria that leads her to the right of your office. Most importantly, she can be all the way to the kitchen, a cam we never actually saw in FNAF 1. She can be in different parts of the kitchen until she moves through the employee door, taking her to the backstage. Here you can watch her through cam 17 and 4 until Chico makes her way up the hallway, taking her to parts and service. From here you can watch her be around the toy animatronics until she gets closer and closer to your right door until she's completely out of the camera's view. So she'll then be right next to you, allowing you to close the door on her, sending her back to the stage. But say Chica isn't leaving your door and is draining your battery. Well, to get rid of her, that comes with its own risk. I've added a new mechanic taken straight from FNAF Security Breach. Here, when you're on the cam in the kitchen, you can cook pizza by clicking a button that appears on your screen, which will then force Chica to move back to the kitchen. This same mechanic allowed Gregory to escape while Glamrock Chica was eating the pizza in the kitchen. However, you have to stay on the cam while the pizza cooks, which is the downside, and there's a timer for how long you can wait to use it again. Now with Foxy, we're going to keep his exact same mechanic where he runs from his cove all the way to your office. But this time, not only to make it harder, but so you're actually checking different cameras, Foxy has the ability to run at you from 3 different stages. Usually you only have to keep track of this.
Oh wait, actually, I just got something. What if we do that same mechanic with Chica, but with all the animatronics? Just like, if all the animatronics doesn't go away from the door at all, and you need to do something to lure them away. Just like in FNAF 3. You could lure Chica away with the pizza, Bonnie will be lured away with music probably. Freddy, maybe music box or something? I'm not sure. Like Bonnie with a guitar, Freddy with the music box. And Foxy will be lured away with treasure or something.
This cam on Foxy's cove, and if he's missing, you just have to close the door on him before he reaches you. So instead, the different stages of Foxy also extend to the main dining area and the hallway. Foxy will be hiding when he's not about to run, so look in these 3 cameras to see when Foxy is going to run when he's exposed and in a running stance, which can happen at any stage, which is why it's important you check all 3 cameras. But if you happen to miss all stages and Foxy is nowhere to be found, quickly close your camera system and close the door. Moving on to Freddy, I've always had some issue with Freddy's mechanics, since he's basically boiled down to cam stalling, as you just have to keep him in one position, and once you get the hang of it, he's pretty easy to avoid. He just doesn't have much of an appearance besides this camera and being on stage, even though he's the face of this game and franchise. So instead, there's 2 things to worry about with Freddy. For one, he can appear in any cam, being the most versatile, and will block the camera's view in different ways, not allowing you to see if an animatronic is behind him. So if Freddy is blocking the camera in the kitchen and Chica's right behind him, you would have no idea, besides having to check every other camera where she can appear, which obviously takes some time. But then in your office and on your right side, Freddy will of course appear here. And when he's at your door, you can close it on him, but he will attempt to lift and open the door, causing a quick time action where you have to spam a certain button to keep the door closed, prompting him to leave. But now we can look at our first new addition to this FNAF game, Bub. Again, this choice was because of the larger pizzeria. I didn't want to make it feel empty by only having 4 animatronics, and we really only see 2 of them. I also didn't want to add too many mechanics, so I apologize if it feels that way, but compared to a game like Ultimate Custom Night, I think it would work pretty well. And on top of that, Bub is pretty easy to deal with, as he will be the only animatronic to use the vent. Bub will be located in the second supply closet, so he'll make his way from the main diner all the way to parts and service, where he can then enter your office through the right side. He is very fast and gets faster as the nights go on, but you can track him on the cam system where a small emoji pops up as he travels through the vents. Simply stop him at the door and he'll go back to his supply closet. Next, taking a look at Shadow Freddy, I really wanted to do more with this character than just a rare Easter egg in one of the cameras, and he actually has a dedicated mechanic with the employee break room. Shadow Freddy also wasn't in the original game, but I feel like it's a really cool inclusion, especially assuming he would also appear in the second and third FNAF game. So here, Shadow Freddy will flash on your screen, which can happen at any moment, which will then slowly begin to drain your power. In later nights, he drains your power much more quickly, so it's important to deal with him as soon as possible. So you'll have to head to the cams and look at Cam 10, or the employee break room, where like with many mechanics we've seen in past FNAF games, flash your light at Shadow Freddy, making him disappear. Finally, looking at Golden Freddy, I almost wanted the mechanic behind this animatronic to be the hardest and to have a few parts to it. So Golden Freddy will be stationary in the loading dock area, in a slump position we all know from Five Nights at Freddy's 1. The mechanic here takes inspiration from FNAF 6, where near the entrance you have an electrical switch box. If at any moment Golden Freddy is at an upright position or standing, switch off the electrical box, which will cause a shocked effect in the room, resetting Golden Freddy to his slump position. To make it easier, there won't be slight differences in his movement or posture that you need to pay attention to like in FNAF 6. There's a clear distinction to the 2 stages, making it clear so when you need to shock him. But if you fail to turn off the switch on time, Golden Freddy will be missing from this room and will now be present in every single camera you're on. He'll switch from cam to cam and will basically become locked to your camera system, and there's no way to escape him. If you try to pull down your camera system, you'll immediately be jump scared. So how do we get him back to the loading dock? Well, you need to follow a certain sound effect leading you to a specific room, where when switching to that camera, Golden Freddy will not follow and will instead go back to the loading dock. The sound effect would get louder and louder depending on which direction it is from your current camera you're in. And to make it a little bit easier, a soundbar effect will appear on your camera system for a brief second telling you where to go. It flashes on your screen quickly, and if you happen to see where it was, go to that camera. But keep in mind, Golden Freddy isn't all that patient, so you only have a limited amount of time or a limited amount of cameras Golden Freddy will follow you until
and kill you.
Check.
And killed me with an ad like he did. And skip. Never mind. And then skip, and we'll go.
Now, I do hope the brief gameplay doesn't feel like too much either. I know it seems like there's a lot to keep track of and that it could be too much. But how I see it, Bonnie, Chica, and Bub all act the same way and you stop them the same way. Chica just has an extra mechanic only to keep track of her, and Bub is the easiest to keep track of in the vents. Freddy would also be pretty easy to deal with as long as you beat the quick time action, and that's all there really is to him. Foxy works just like how he did in FNAF 1, and you only have to check a few more cameras before you close the door on him like you usually would. Shadow Freddy would happen randomly, and I also think it's pretty easy to get rid of him. I will say Golden Freddy is the only one I do think could be too difficult or too complicated, but I think bringing in all these mechanics together would be difficult but rewarding in a sense. And really, I just want the player to check the cameras more often than FNAF 1, where you really immerse yourself with the different rooms or areas. But hopefully that all gave you a good glimpse into the gameplay, as now I quickly want to go over some aspects of the lore. Now I won't go over every single detail like I've done in the past with my Reboot series or my Reimagined series, which you can check out on the channel. I wanted this video to focus more on the pizzeria itself and on the animatronics. But depending on how this video does, and if you guys really want me to treat this more like a reboot video like Unwithered Truth's amazing series, not only would I remake the FNAF 2 pizzeria and go over all the animatronics and gameplay, but I would also go over all the lore, minigames, Easter eggs, and anything else I feel to make this game feel complete. And on top of that, I would also include anything you guys feel that was missing from this video. So something I brought up a lot is the safe room. Obviously there's no mechanic or animatronic tied to it, nor is there a cam to view what's inside. Instead, I took inspiration from FNAF 3, and specifically where objects would either appear in front of you on your desk or on the cams. So on any cam, you may notice a familiar yellow bunny hiding and sneaking around the corners before quickly moving from your view. But if you're fast enough and click on this yellow bunny, you'll then be able
Oh, what? Something Freddy?
Another thing I decided to add was what happened to Phone Guy after his last phone call. We all know how Phone Guy met his demise in FNAF 1, and it's heavily theorized that this rare game over screen where we see eyeballs popping out of the Freddy suit is Phone Guy himself. So taking inspiration from these two moments, after night 4 and after listening to his last phone call, opening up the cam system and looking at your backstage, you'll find where Phone Guy ended up.
Oh. So yeah, we can literally see Phone Guy's corpse.
These were just some quick things that I feel could add to the horror, but again, if I make another one of these on FNAF 2, I'll go over way more that was missing here. But this is my remake on the FNAF 1 pizzeria and animatronics. Now I will say that this is definitely not perfect by any means, and there are some things I definitely want to improve on. So some feedback would be greatly appreciated on anything I could do, and in general on what I could do next with FNAF 2. Today is actually my birthday, so if you made it to the very end, comment down below anything that has to do with cake, and you'll be featured in the next video. So what did you guys think? Comment down below any thoughts or theories. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all.
Yeah, happy late birthday to you, and happy birthday to FNAF. That's pretty good. But yeah, that video was actually pretty good, actually. Like, I could kind of agree with some of the parts here and there. Okay, let's see. It's 4:44 right now. We've been live for 1 hour and 37 minutes. Let's see. I'll probably pick one more short video and then I'll call it for the day, because something else is gonna come up very soon for an event, and I just want to make sure that everything is all set. Yeah, this is pretty good so far for FNAF's 12th anniversary. Actually, hold on. Okay, I found one more short video. And then another one. I lost the video real quick. Oh, there it is. Just double check and triple check. Okay, we'll do a few more videos and then we'll call it for the day on live stream. Yep. Then share this one. Or this one is by Ed Pilgrim MG. And it's the I Can't Fix You music video. I checked out a lot of their stuff and the artwork is actually very good. So make sure you support them as well as all the other videos I've reacted to. And be cautious that this video does contain graphic violence and all that stuff. Yeah, I really love their art style in these videos. Oh, wait, is this CG5's remix? Sounds familiar.
I've been trying for so long to sing you the right song, to show you something different every day. So you hear what I have to say, like puzzle pieces. And now we're here at a standstill. I wonder if you feel the kind of pain that rips your insides out. That's something I know all about. Shocking me, it's just because I can't be her. Make mistakes that make me hurt. I can't fix you.
Looks really good. Oh.
Is it because I can't be her? Make me awake and make me hurt. I can't fix you.
Yeah, this is the type of animation that I want to try one day. Like, please don't hurt me.
You've been worried you're lost here, and that's riding my gears. How can a human lose their self-control? There's nothing left to make you whole. I'm done
Oh, there's Freddy. Look, the boxing ring. Oh, okay, Valara has a chainsaw. Oh, Charlie as well. Oh, of course, the classic purple guy look. Oh, Edwin and Fiona as well. Oh, jeez.
This is what happens when you leave it to somebody else. If you want it done right, you should just do it yourself. You oversaturate your world with nothing but machines. You might make everyone happy, but you're dead inside just like me. And now we're here at a standstill. I wonder if you feel the kind of pain that rips your insides out. That's something I know all about. Shocking, ain't it? We have a lot more in common than you will be gone with. It's like we're the same person, me and you. We both don't know what we can do.
Okay then. This is really good so far. Oh, jeez. Oh, there's a scooping room. Oh. Yep, there's Michael's corpse. Episode 9. Oh yeah, they were all in episodes, right. Oh. This is click here to activate. Fiona. Oh, hold on, we gotta check that out. Oh. Oh. Arnold, you did. We still have a chance. Oh, it's like Secret of the Mimic. Ooh, is that the next music video? Ooh, that'll be interesting. Alright, now we have last video actually. We'll do one more. And then we'll call it for today for part 1. There we go. Okay, last one called Nightmare Night Shift, which is a song that featured Doggo and random encounters and horror skunks. So this is gonna be interesting. Oh.
This place is a cemetery. I hear the children's tears. So many secrets buried. Won't get away from here. I follow my father's traces. His sins feel like my own. And I need this paycheck like a kid needs a frontal lobe. Just like that, there goes a week. Never will, never sleep. Says I won't. Won't forget. Checkerboard, memories, they parade. How my dreams haven't looked at Freddy's sense.
Terrifying spirits hiding kids inside them.
Oh, they even added SFM animations like that. Very decent so far. Oh, that's the random encounter mask.
You're about to have a fast company meeting. You let party hatred since we were created. So a lot more to your contract might be terminated. We're looking for closure, and you're looking like it. You even got his eyes. Would you mind if I did? You chose so much to strike. Now you're gonna overtime. That it really hurts to die, and the pain is where you die. Hello. 911?
Better, it's phone guy.
Well, can you
Hey,
like,
JJ.
please get...
Oh, hi, this is just a pre-recorded message to help you out on your first night.
How is this pre-recorded?
Pre-recorded message? How could that be the truth when you answered me back while I was talking to you? Oh, that's a good question, but it'll have to wait, because there's a yellow bunny out there and he wants to play!
Oh no, not that Fred there.
Let's say you're like an employee with a rough up face. I'm the one to cut to the chase. I'm gonna get ya. Become my pawn like Vanessa. I wake up from cone, acting fun clone. I'm like a rich trap and I might make you my own. Man, I really wish that I could say more, but the writer of this song kicked out at game 4.
The main attraction, really are about that. Take you, break you, recreate you.
You face with a yellow rabbit zombie. Try your best and still will never stop me. This is if you've got no more time. This knife of a shift if you fuck out your life.
That was really good. Hey, it's like DA Games. This is pretty good so far. There's Nightmarian's tentacles. Okay, that was actually very good so far. Huge shout out to all of them, because that was pretty good. Alright. So that seems like that'll be it for now then. Because I have to get ready for a new event very soon on VRChat. Speaking of which, I should probably mention something as well, just in case. So I noticed on here... Oh yeah, that's the one I was talking about. But I keep noticing something right here. Anytime this shows up, like, I don't know why it keeps showing up. I get notifications on VRChat, obviously, but this here has happened 3 times now. Like, someone named 303 Public, they keep inviting me to that group, but I don't know what it is. So, I don't know who keeps doing this, but please stop. I didn't ask for it. Like, it's probably a hack thing or something. But yeah, I'm gonna be going here pretty soon. But if you guys did enjoy that video, and all those reactions I did, I'm still trying to get used to all of this, but please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video and streams to everyone that you know that might like this kind of stuff. And I'll see you tomorrow, probably, where I do part 2 of this, because I still got a lot more. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that anniversary stream, and I'll see you in the next one. Good night, everyone, and happy anniversary to Five Nights at Freddy's.